Hey, welcome to my shop. Whenever I first looked at this Duruxx and drove it and all that kind of stuff before I bought it, one of my first questions for the guy was, hey, where's the heater? He told me, he said, well, they don't come with a heater. I found that to be, well, it was a shock because, I mean, you know, it's got a radio and all that kind of stuff. I mean, my gosh, you know, it's, it's all enclosed and it obviously needed a heater. So guess what? It has one now. There's the defroster vents right there, and you come down here and there's the heat vents, and the heater is out of sight. It's a Summit racing heater. I'll post the part number for you. Of course, you got to have a bunch of little odds and ends. So it ended up, I think the heater was like $150, and then of course you had to have the tubing and vents and stuff like that. That was about, I believe that was about another $35. And then you had to go to auto parts and get clamps and get water hose or heater hose, 5/8 heater hose, and then maybe you could put it all together. You had to have some T's or something like that to tie into the radiator hose, both the ones that feed it and the one that, you know, is a return hose, which I did that. And it seemed to be fine until I got out there and I found out it didn't work. So then I bought what's called a MaxStat, and I'll put a link to that down there. What that does is that has an inline thermostat that forces the water from the engine block to go through the heater core and then back to the engine block until the thermostat heats up to 180. Then it hits the radiator. So anyway, hang in there. I'm going to show you how I did this. All right, I took this out for the first time last weekend, and I wasn't disappointed in its performance in mud. But the thing that really got me, we got up real early on Saturday morning, went out there. It was pretty cold, and inside the windshield fogged up so bad we couldn't see where we was going, and, you know, and so forth. And so I decided, well, it's got to have a heater. I got on YouTube and looked, and I found this guy that it looked like about 2013. He's got one that looks just exactly like mine, older model, and his is a Reaper. But it's the same thing, basically. And he put a Summit heater in his, and, you know, it looked like he did a decent job. And I bought one here. Here it is, right here. It's 28,000 BTU. It ought to be more than adequate. And he mounted his down there under the console. Now, he said you had to take the seats and the whole tunnel out. Now, I just really don't see a need to do that. So the first thing I did is I took this center console off right here, and that left this area wide open. So here it is with the radio and the switches. And then, you know, I labeled every switch, and there they are laying down there like that. And I got them all diagrammed on a piece of paper, so, you know, I can put it back. But I'm thinking that it'll go right in. It'll go right in here. I'm thinking, you know, because you don't need none of this right here. You don't even need that, because this has all the adequate bracing and stuff for it. And to get this out, see those studs sticking up? They go right in these places. There's 4 wing nuts on the other side. So basically, you could take and cut this whole area out right here, and that would give you easy access to this. And you may have to trim this down a little, but I'm thinking this may sit down in there pretty good. I don't know. I'm just have to try it. So I'm having to sort of, you know, play this by ear. So as I get a little further, I will turn this camera on and bring you up to date. All right, here's the console. Really a snap to get out. You just have to sit back and sort of analyze it a little bit. All it does is it's got some sheet metal screws down to the floor. You take this back one out first. It has 2 screws, and you can raise it up, scoot it forward, and then you take that one out like a snap, like a breeze, my friends, like a breeze. And what you got left here is this, over on the other side so you can see it better. There you go. Now, that is all open now. I ought to be able to set the heater in there a whole lot easier and then work the cowling back around it. So, I'll probably be doing that in a little while. All right. I think I got it all figured out now. You see that thing right there? That was up here under the dash, up near the top, and it blocked everything. And what it is, I had a hard time figuring out what it was till I got it out. It's a damn speaker, a big old woofer, which, you know, I could care less about a radio anyway. Probably never will turn it on. So you put the bottom console back in, and that heater will sit directly on top of it. All right, you see that? I'm going to cut that lip off right there on the top, just straight across the top. And that's going to let my bracket fit right in there real good. And then I'll be able to bolt it to the firewall from the inside. Whole thing will be, you know, out of view, just like a regular car. Okay, I've got this top lip cut off now, sanded down. So now I'm going to slide this back under here, this console. And bear with me. Goes like so. Really easy, right there. Now what I'm going to do, of course the wire, I'm going to get to all the wires out of the way. All right, see what we're looking at here. They can draw me a line right here. And what that's going to do, that's going to tell me where I can put my lower bracket. There's your bottom bracket up against the firewall, and the console slides under it. I'm thinking I'm not going to put a top one in because it's going to sit on top of that console. And the top one is a little further away from the firewall. We tilt it up unless I put spacers in it. So let's see how that turns out. There you go. Perfect fit. I don't need the top brackets. You're not going to shake this. When you come to this side over here, and there's your vents really nice and high out of the way. And plenty of room to turn your holes and all that kind of stuff. You can see it up there. It's right on top of the console. It ain't going nowhere, my friends. All right, looks like I'm in business there. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the console out until I get done. It's sort of in my way because I've got to run another wire. I'm gonna put some LED lights on the front of it too. Okay. Well, I got my vents in. Put one on each side right below the speaker. And then I've got the defrost one up there. That's running a single hose there. I'm going to see how it does. If it doesn't put out enough air, I can always put another one in. But anyway, the hardest part to me was putting the damn hose on. I finally figured out if you split the end of it in about 2 or 3 places, it'll slide on. Then you can wire tie it. But I've got to put the dash vents in. I've got the defroster done. So I'll work on that tomorrow. I'm done for today. I just got back from Home Depot. I checked everywhere for some T-fittings. I have a max stat ordered, but in the meantime I need something, and I don't know, they evidently are not very fast shippers. So I went and put this together at Home Depot. Let me explain this all to you. These are called Plex fittings, and amazingly, this is a 3/4 inch Plex fitting, and this is 3/4 inch thread. Amazingly, here's a piece of 5/8 hose. They fit absolutely perfectly on there, which is really neat. I mean, they really fit good. And these will screw into these T's, and this is all at Home Depot. And all together, see, the threads are good. I'm going to use some heavy dose of Teflon tape. I also got a cutoff valve with the same Plex fittings on it. So that ought to really Good cutoff for the summertime. This is 3/4 by 3/4 MNPT male adapter. That's these things here. These are, I can read it, it's a blue twister, 1 inch by 1 inch by 3/4. So that's your T. Your lock, your valve is right here. It is 3/4 by 3/4 ball valve, and it's Plex, whatever. And so that's going to put me in business until I get my other one. Also bought some stainless steel clamps. So it all came to $30.45. The whole kit and caboodle. So I'm getting ready to put some Teflon tape on it and proceed. I went over and I checked. This is 1 inch, and I made sure that it was going to fit in the radiator hoses, and it does. So we're good to go. Okay, I'm going to start putting it back together now. All right, this first piece is part of the center console, and down here. And all I did was cut this upper lip off. So you come in here and you got to move all your wires out of the way naturally. And basically, better lighting here. Lighting is a difficult thing to do here. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm coming under the heater. I'm trying anyway. Okay, the front portion of the console's in. Next thing you do is you take this part right here. You know, here that is. And you want to slide underneath that one like that. All right, center console's back in now. It's a little bit tricky. By far, it would have been easier with the seats out, but at the same time, you got to pull the whole bottom pan to get to the bolts of the seats. So it's worth a little bit of struggle. It has a lip it has to fit under to connect to the back piece. So you come in here and have to use a screwdriver to sort of, work it in there, but it's doable. I just did it. All right, next is the upper console with the radio and stuff in it, and then I got to wire the outside and hook up the hoses, and this puppy will be done. Okay, I'm going to try to put this thing back together now. Got a few new little plugs on here. Got it all wired up. So let's see what we got here. All right, let's see. This here is the brand new spick and span heater. Well, it's all done now. You can, right there, that's all you can see right there. Didn't have to do no special cutting or nothing like that. I put the switches right here, and they're wired direct, and the reason they're wired direct is because I didn't want to pull the damn fuse box in order to find a switch connection. So it works fine, blows lots of air right there. And this is my LED lights right there. So everything else is normal. I did find out by removing that woofer under there that the radio wouldn't work. Evidently the speakers, went through there, so I just cut the plug off and tied them together, and it works fine now. I did come in here and put some extra holders here. I did not put all of these back because you don't need them. I mean, you couldn't get that up. It's hard to get up, in other words. Probably could have been sealed a little better right there, but that's okay. Come up under here. This is the delivery side, and you can see right there where it is. Everything's fine, it don't leak. There is the cutoff, And I didn't have the right grommets for the firewall, so I just silicone the heck out of it. And you come down here, and you can see down there, get out of the way, and there is the return line. And everything is working just fine. I started up, I couldn't really tell how much it heated because I didn't run it outside, but I did it mainly just to see if we got any leaks. And I don't, so we're good to go. All right, there's a max stat. And I've yet to see if it'll work, but I'm sure it will. It's only logical. It's got a thermostat in it, and it's got the incoming water back here. It comes in. Can't get past the thermostat until the thermostat opens, so it's going to force it to go up here into the heater core. Simple logic, my friends. Now, when a thermostat opens, I'm hoping that the thermostat will not open far enough to still make it go through there. If it opens all the way and I lose any type of pressure here, well, I'll be back to ground zero. So I wouldn't know exactly what to do there. All right, there you go. You see I got the mud washed off it. The heater works great, I think. You have to try it on a real cold morning, but I'm sure it'll be just great. Got my LED lights working. That's about it. I'm ready to hit the woods on a cold morning. Thanks for watching and take care of yourself. And like I say on my wood turning channel, call your mama and subscribe. Tell your friends. Catch you. Bye-bye.